Hello Terps and happy homecoming. Although we look forward to welcoming alumni back to Maryland Stadium, we all know that homecoming is about much more than just a football game. It's about connecting with each other and celebrating what unites us all, Maryland pride. One thing we should all take pride in is the fact that the University of Maryland is a world-class research institution. Just as our players on the field are facing tough opponents, researchers across the university are exploring some of our most critical societal issues. Researchers like Dr. Rashawn Ray, Professor of Sociology and Executive Director of the Lab for Applied Social Science Research in the College of Behavioral and Social Sciences. Dr. Ray is not afraid to have hard conversations and face complicated problems head-on, which is why I have asked him to speak today about the crucial role research plays in confronting the grand challenges of our time. I am pleased to introduce a new homecoming tradition where faculty and researchers share their knowledge with you in a new series we're calling Beyond the Field. Terps everywhere, this is Dr. Rashawn Ray.
Thank you, President Pines. I'm honored to participate in this year's homecoming festivities and so grateful to work at a university that values research excellence. As Dr. Pines mentioned, we are living in times fraught with grand challenges that have no easy solution. For example, COVID-19 has ravaged all of our communities, disrupted all of our lives, and yet my research highlights the disproportionate ways that communities of color have been impacted by COVID-19 in terms of health and also in terms of the economy. We also know people living in rural America have been impacted as well, particularly in terms of technological access for students in schools and people at work. Meanwhile, America is still reeling from the senseless killings of countless African Americans, including locally, such as William Green, Freddie Gray, Corinne Gaines, and more nationally, Philando Castile, Tamir Rice, and countless others. Accordingly, my research speaks to a troubling statistic. Black people are 3.5 times more likely than whites to be killed by police when they are not attacking or have a weapon. Accordingly, incidents of systemic racism, sexism, and xenophobia color news headlines nearly every single day. And despite these daunting obstacles, I am cautiously optimistic. In fact, I am quite hopeful. Why? Because I believe in the power of critical thinking. I believe in the power of research to create meaningful change. I believe in our students to make the world better. I see it every single day in my classrooms where they challenge me and my colleagues to give them more about what the world might be. Research is my passion. I am invigorated at the prospect of examining problems that seemingly have no easy solution. Problems where oftentimes those solutions can be controversial. But part of thinking about this research helps me realize that it's actually worth it for us to get to a better America and a better society. One example of my research is the work that I've been doing in the Lab for Applied Social Science Research with police officers, where we've developed with Jigsaw Google, as well as some of our colleagues in UMIACS and computer science, an innovative virtual reality decision-making program where we immerse police officers in these virtual worlds and they experience things that they do every single day. We can measure their attitudes and their behaviors and then give them feedback on ways that they can get better. We've used this research to testify before Congress, to also testify before our state legislature, and even locally, where we take our virtual reality program into high schools. And in these high schools, we then put police officers and students in our VR program. And it leads to just invigorating conversations about ways to enhance trust and also lead to more fruitful communities. To address and curtail incidents of anti-Black racism, particularly after the murder of George Floyd, I was tasked by Dean Gregory Ball in the College of Behavioral and Social Sciences to develop an anti-Black racism initiative. We brought together over 40 faculty, staff, and graduate students representing every single department in BSAS. And what we did was we did a deep dive into ourselves, as well as looked at better ways we can contribute to our local community and this national conversation. We wrote an extensive report on research, policy, community engagement, pedagogy, and professional development. And from this report, BSOS has now hired several new faculty members that contribute to research excellence and diversity. Finally, in a new project with AT&T, along with the Office of Community Engagement here at the University of Maryland and Dr. Singson Wayne, who's in the School of Education, we are examining bullying, both on and offline. When it comes to cyberbullying, there's a troubling statistic. About 90% of youth report experiencing bullying online. But here's the hope. About 80% report being willing to intervene and do something about those experiences. In a related project with Dr. Melissa Brown, who is a recent graduate from the University of Maryland in sociology, along with Dr. Ed Summers in the College of Arts and Humanities, what we've done is we've collected over 2 million tweets and Reddit posts. And what we're looking at is the way that people might respond to experiencing racism in an online format. We found that people engage in education and evidence, as well as content moderation. One of my primary goals in speaking with you today is to show how versatile research can actually be. The best news is that we all have a role to play. No matter our background, we can all play a role in addressing the grand challenges of our time. For me, I took a sociology course in undergrad, and I never looked back. I realized that I could actually obtain a PhD in sociology. And I'm so grateful to be at a place like University of Maryland, where I have colleagues that allow me to be innovative, that allow me to be timely, and to do cutting-edge research. I encourage you to take the same energy and passion that you have at this football game to encourage the Terps on the football field, and take that into your own lives. Think about the role you might play with research, with activism, also in your local community and in your workplaces. Terrapins aren't meant to hide in our shells and avoid conflict. We are fearless. We are bold. We are Terrapin strong. And we all have a role to play in changing the world that we live in. So join me this homecoming in being committed to be part of the solution, to step outside of your comfort zone, to think about a diverse range of perspectives, and to think about the role we can play in our local communities, in our workplaces, to make the world a better place. So thank you, and go Terps.